Hey everyone, just a quick note before the show starts. This episode is about a movie called Shrooms, so naturally there's going to be a lot of discussion about drugs in this episode. We do not condone the use of drugs at all. Drugs are fucking stupid, and don't do them. And you'll live a much longer and better life without them. So please do not do drugs. The stories are just fun and whatever, but please don't do them. Please. Thank you.
This episode of The Horror Show is brought to you by Patrick R. and Adrian M. Thank you guys so much. They donated over at patreon.com/IHateHorror. We're doing some cool stuff coming up. I think we're going to try and get some full-length bonus apps going.
Yeah. Let's do that.
So check it out, patreon.com/IHateHorror. And we'll keep you guys in the loop for what those episodes are going to be. But enjoy the rest of this episode. Everybody, and welcome to The Horror Show, the show that dissects, mutilates, dismembers, and butchers all of your favorite and not so favorite horror movies and other horror-related events. I'm Sean.
I'm Joe.
Welcome back, guys. Solo Sean show didn't fucking sink the ship. Good news. Great news. We are still on, and we got some classics.
For today?
Coming up. We are doing Shrooms this week, and next week we will be doing Clown. I'm excited. I am super excited for both. Joe, less excited for both. So I don't think we have anything to discuss.
Who chose Shrooms?
Brian W.
Okay.
From Ireland.
Really?
Yes. So
that makes more sense.
Yes, I appreciate it. Because all of his other movies were like, I knew they were Irish. It was Dream Home and Boy Eats Girl, and then I saw this one. I was like, that's weird. And then I found out that the director was Irish, so then it all made sense. Oh, well, then it also takes place in Ireland. I forgot about that too. But yeah. So thank you very much, Brian. We'll get into it because I wanted to say something else. But first, live tweet this Thursday coming up, couple days, and it is going to be, I think it's Thursday.
Yeah, it is.
It is Thursday. This Thursday, live tweet, and we are doing Thinner on Netflix. I believe it's on Netflix. Yes, Netflix. Thinner on Netflix. So Thursday the 23rd.
What time?
You know what? I'm totally lying. So, it's not this week. It is
The following?
I don't know, man.
The clown episode?
What fucking day is it? Oh, no, because my calendar has the back. Oh, my God. I'm a fucking idiot, first of all. So, yes, it is this week. Wait, no, it's not.
Oh, my God.
It's next week. Next week, Thursday the 23rd, we are doing a live tweet. It's going to be Thinner. So come on Twitter. Join Twitter and follow us at I Hate Horror Show and at JoV421.
Now we don't have to do it at the end.
Do that. We'll do it both. You got to hit them hard.
We got CT Cult Classics this week, though.
Yes.
John Carpenter night.
Yeah. Just search CT Cult Classics. I think it's ctcultclassics.com.
Yeah.
Check it out. John Carpenter night. I will not be there. I will be doing stuff.
I will be there.
Joe will be there, having fun. I'll be watching Beauty and the Beast. So that's that. That's it. Housekeeping done. Now it's time to get into shrooms. We can't avoid it any longer. It's time to just do the damn thing. So this came out November 23rd, 2007, a newer flick for us in terms of what we normally watch.
Fucking 10 years ago. It's crazy.
That's nuts. That's actually nuts. I hate that. Directed by Paddy Brethnack from Ireland. He doesn't really have a whole lot of other stuff on his resume, but I can't figure out why that would be.
Was this his debut?
No, actually, this was like middle of his career, I think, middle to later part of his career. But, so
he went on to direct Freak Dog.
There you go, the classic Freak Dog. Everyone's favorite Freak Dog. Modern day Marvel. So we open up to super weird visuals, which isn't really foreshadowing or anything. We open up to some trippy imagery.
Yeah.
But then that's all just nonsense. That's just all nothing. It's kind of just like, I don't even know. But we meet our cast here. It's a girl. She's traveling 5,000 miles to go to Ireland, basically just to take mushrooms and say hi to this guy.
I mean, that's really the whole premise.
Yeah.
Is this her first time taking mushrooms?
I don't know. And I don't know why you'd go to Ireland to do that.
That seems like a terrible idea.
It seems like the most poorly...
Spoiler alert, it was.
Oh, yeah. Well, that too, yeah. And...
but, like, there's nothing I would want to do less than trip balls in a place I'm not familiar with.
Yeah. And even if you were, wouldn't you go to, like, Amsterdam, where...
It's, like, regulated?
Where it's regulated, and, like, people know what you're doing, and, like... can help you. Yeah, no, they're like, hey, let's go to, the land of mushrooms. Let's go to Ireland.
Is that a thing?
No, I don't. I mean, okay, I shouldn't say that. I have no idea, but I really doubt it. I've never once heard somebody be like, did you go to Ireland and taste the shrooms?
Nobody said
that.
I mean, nobody said that ever.
But then again, in this movie, it's like the most unrealistic people doing things with mushrooms. Like, there's a scene where they're looking for mushrooms, and they're like, putting their faces on the ground and like staring at them and like petting them before plucking them. It's like, I've never seen anything quite like this in my life.
How quickly would you personally die if you had to like cultivate mushrooms and distinguish between ones that would kill you and ones that wouldn't?
Seconds.
It's literally impossible. I don't care what anybody says.
I don't care either. And I honestly hate, I had a boss that was like really big into mushrooms. And she would go out with a guy that could that knew the differences and read books. And I was like, I would never trust that guy. I don't know why I would trust like a drug dealer. All right, spoiler alerts. I've eaten mushrooms. I don't know. Statute of limitations is probably up on that, right?
It's not a crime.
It's not a crime?
No.
Oh, yeah, you're just an idiot.
You just can't sell it.
Well.
Or buy it.
Okay, well, so.
You just ate it.
I found it.
Yeah.
But, why would I trust them from somebody else, but not a guy that's like, hey, I've read books?
Because they're at least making money. And
that's true. There's money.
Trust me, I'm an expert.
There's money on the line. Especially guys that are like, I can identify them, but I'm not going to eat them.
I don't do that.
Because I think that was her setup. Was like, this guy was like, college educated guy, and like, but he was like, no, I'm not into that, but I'll point him out to you.
Yeah. Anybody could literally, I could say that to people right now, but trust me, I'm an expert. That one's probably fine.
It's insane. But yeah, having to pick on myself, I'd be dead in moments.
Yeah, for sure.
Moments. But this group of people is, this is what they want to do. And they do. So we have two main girls, Tara, who's the lead blonde, and Holly. Holly's the other gal. And we also have a stoner and who looks like Jay Muse again.
This time period, actually, I don't want to say this. Well, I will say it, but I'm pretty sure I read it on Letterboxd. I don't know who to give credit to, but one of the reviews was like, this was the time when every single movie had to have a J in it.
Yeah. It's so weird. It's so weird. And they do it. And then there's also, so we got Jay Muse and we got this jock named Bluto. You fucking kidding me?
What a name.
You fucking kidding me? No one names their kid Bluto. No one gives that nickname either. Because that guy.
He looks like a Bluto.
Listen to me. Does he though? Because the whole time, the stoner and like the girls, whenever they're mad at him, they're like, go shoot up steroids into your butt, you roid rage monkey. This guy doesn't look that huge to me. Did he look big?
He was an ock.
Was he?
Yeah.
He kind of looked like just like a regular dude that they were like painting as a jock. I don't know. It just seemed off to me.
He was no, what was that guy's name?
I mean, they could have
Pig. What was his name?
dude, from fucking, what was that?
Fuck.
Why can't I?
Night of the Demons.
Night of the Demons.
What was his name?
I don't know. I think it was.
No, it's not Pig, but he was dressed as a pig.
Yeah, it was like hog face. No, it wasn't. I'm going to look it up right now. That guy's like.
That guy's an ock.
That guy is an ock, and he's a fucking asshole.
He should have been
too.
named Bluto.
He might be named Bluto.
The actor.
Oh, was he Stooge?
Stooge, that's it. Yeah.
Stooge. Names that describe you. I think we talked about it in that episode, just having descriptive names for yourself. So this guy is Bluto and Jay Muse the stoner. And they already hate each other. They're not getting along. And the jock threatens him by holding up like, I wanted to call them brass knuckles, but I think they're just like, they're not even 5-finger rings or 4-finger rings. They're like 3-finger rings with the smallest text on them.
Yeah.
They were the most bizarre things I've ever seen in my life. Like, they were so not impressive. And he just like holds them up to him, like threateningly. And one says death and one says coma. Why would you bring that guy on a trip to
eat mushrooms? Terrible idea.
Dude, this guy's so intense. Like, even like, and they get off the plane and he's like, all right, you fucking asshole.
Honestly, it would be like taking Jagenberg.
Yes.
To do mushrooms.
Which is
the worst idea you could ever fucking have.
And I kind of want to do it just to experience.
I absolutely
No, I'd cry. Like, I'd call a hospital. Speaking of calling a hospital, well, we'll talk about that in a minute. So this group gets together. They meet their Irish friend who Tara's got a fling with.
Half a face in Boardwalk Empire.
Oh, it's that guy?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
He's in those liquor commercials too.
Oh, shit. Well, good for him. Getting work. Yeah. Look at that. Even after this.
Yeah, especially after this.
They hit an animal on the side of the road. Not on the side, in the middle of the road. The jock goes out with a tire iron.
Dude, he fucking punches it.
And everyone's all upset. Everyone's like, what the fuck are you doing? He's like, because he's about to crack it open with a tire iron. Like, put it out of its fucking... It's demolished, by the way. But somehow it's like...
Well, I mean, he was fighting it. There was probably a way more humane way.
But then why were they upset? Well, I guess that's true.
I mean, Sean, if we both hit a car and I got out and just started punching it, you would not be kind of upset.
I guess I would.
Alarmed?
I guess I would be alarmed. Yeah. All right. But I would be more alarmed at the weird hill people standing at the side of the road.
Ernie and Bernie? Why not just Bert?
Standing at the side of the road. They look like feral people. And they don't speak English.
No, they're like the hills have eyes.
But then they speak perfect English
At
later. In this moment, they're like...
Yeah, he's like Luther the Geek. Like,
yeah.
Making animal noises.
100%. It's like... Oh, man, it's wild. And the Irish guy is just like, I don't mind them. It's just hill people.
Yeah.
And by the way, the hill that we're going to go pick mushrooms on is just up the street. So just don't mind these two. It's like, they're fine.
Also, isn't the jockey... Oh, the jockey calls them cracker motherfuckers.
Yeah.
Screams it at him.
Yeah. And everyone's like, shut the fuck up.
Rightfully so.
Yeah, but they don't... If they can't...
But they can.
Well, yeah, I guess that's true.
Besides, even if they didn't understand, if you didn't understand the language, you would know when some fucking jerk is yelling at you.
That is true. Some jerk named Bluto.
That was just punching a deer.
Yeah, they get to the place that they're going, which is just a hill up the street, and they immediately just start getting high.
One of the characters is like, it's time to just take shrooms and have fun.
Let's go. And then they take away everyone's cell phone. because he's like, yeah, one of you call hospital or do something like fucked up. It's like, well, it's probably why you should have at least one.
Yeah. Or at least have Jason Mewes have it because you know he can handle it.
Yeah. 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 That makes sense.
That's why you have him on that trip.
God damn it. But instead, he like just shoves them all into the car. And obviously, you know what's going to happen there. So what did you think of this movie real quick before we get...
This is not my first time seeing it.
No, you own it.
I do own it. But to be fair, we had a video store. I think I've talked about it before. And they had sidewalk sales where they just dumped DVDs. You could buy them for like $1.
Yeah.
So every time they would have them, they'd have it twice a year. I would just go and like buy out the horror section. So I bought it without having seen it.
Yeah. Which I would have done the same.
Yeah.
It's probably like $2.
It was like $1.
Oh, wow.
Rightfully so.
Yeah. No. Sucker. They were probably like so happy. Get that shit out of here.
But I mean, it's not good.
No.
It's not the worst movie we've
not bad.
done. No,
it's not bad.
And for a movie about mushrooms, it's kind of well made.
That's what I'll say. I'll say for the content, because everyone made fun of this. Like, I think everyone in the horror, at least I knew that watched horror movies, that like heard the movie Shrooms was coming out, was like get the fuck out of here. Like,
It has a fan base.
Yeah, it does.
Like a lot of people like.
Yeah, and I actually don't blame them because I actually think the concept isn't bad. I just don't think they did it well. Dude, it's so boring in the middle.
It is boring. I don't think the concept's great. I think the execution's actually better than the concept.
Maybe.
Like in terms of how it was filmed, how it looked.
Yeah.
And the ending, the reveal isn't terrible. You kind of knew it was coming, but
I think they could have done more of the like hallucinations. The hallucinations were like kind of weak in my opinion. Like,
yeah, but mushroom hallucinations aren't. You just feel like shit.
Mushroom. That is part of it.
Just gonna have diarrhea.
But like, you know who does it really well is like the Fear and Loathing.
Yeah.
But then again, I don't know. But that was clearly made
using
for
everything.
people using mushrooms and like fucking horse tranquilizers and shit. So this is interesting though. But anyway, I just want to get your opinion because like at this point, I'm kind of like I'm not unhappy about it, but I'm seeing like signs of like, oh, well, this looks obvious. Like,
No, I mean it was dumb.
Mm-hmm.
It's weird because there's a fine line of being dumb and getting to the point. And sometimes when movies get right to the point, you're like, thank you.
Yeah,
this movie does get to the point, but it was a dumb point. So.
Yeah, and then they also veer away from the point completely and are just
Well,
like
the middle is very, like you said, it's slow.
it's dry, man. Oh my god, it's so fucking dry. So anyway, they're getting high. Troy and Holly. Troy is the stoner, I think. Troy and Holly are an item. And some girl is dating Bluto, which is the most shocking reveal of the whole fucking movie. That's out of control. And this is the scene where they're farming mushrooms and smelling them and shit. And for whatever reason,
By the way, they smell like shit.
oh yeah, I know.
Awful.
They taste just as bad too. Which is why I don't know why they'd make a tea out of it. Because like
A lot of people do.
I don't. Maybe that's better. I don't know. The way I had them, I had to like literally cover them in ranch dressing.
Doesn't your
not to
dad
throw-
listen?
Yeah. Deal with it, Dad.
Take that, Dad.
Take that, Dad. This is why he shouldn't listen. This is his like out now. Okay, now he'll be like, I can't do this anymore.
My dad tried to ground me.
Dude, he would be so mad. He'd probably call the police on you. He'd be like, dude. They'd be like,
Send me to my room.
yeah. So they're out farming these mushrooms, and the guy's like, oh, blackhead mushrooms, these aren't supposed to be out now. And the girl's like, oh, what do they do? And he's like, oh, they make your heart burst.
Explode, yeah.
Like, even if they weren't out now, wouldn't you just be like, hey, guys, just a heads up.
Yeah. Don't fucking eat these.
Don't eat anything that you pick up until I look at all of them. Like, and that was the other weird thing. They all just went on their own. So he was like, here's a picture of a mushroom. Now go out. Go out on your own and pick
which
it.
goes back to what we talked about before.
Dude,
stupid.
Do you know how many times I have to look at a picture of something to like match it up to something else? Like I could have them like side by side and I'll be like, that's not right.
And by the way, mushrooms all look the same.
Oh yeah. Dude. Oh man. And so all these people go out and of course Tara is that the scene right now where she eats the blackhead mushrooms? Yeah. She immediately just picks the first one she looks at. She's like, huh, And it's blackhead mushroom and then just fucking eats it.
Yeah.
Which, again, they were like, we're doing the tea. Like, they were like, we're going to do the tea. And this chick's just like, and then dies. Almost dies.
That's a good point. I didn't even think of that. They're already planning on doing it.
Yeah.
And she just jumps the gun.
And she's like, I can't wait any longer. And this one doesn't look like the picture, so I'm going to eat it. This one is the only one that doesn't look like all the others, so I'm going to put it in my mouth. See how it tastes. She's dead, basically, but the Irish guy finds her. She's hallucinating, but she claims she's seeing the future. She said she saw the guy coming to save her.
Yeah,
which I wouldn't believe her either. So, but that was rough for them. They go back to the camp.
It's nighttime. She's resting.
Yep, and they decide. This movie is so stupid. This movie was not written. I'm getting more mad about this movie only because it's nothing that people on Shrooms would want to do.
Gonna go tell ghost stories.
Tell the scariest ghost story of all time while you're in the middle of the fucking woods, like that shit, dude. That creeped me out a little bit. The story, like, it freaked me out.
Last thing you want to do is like put yourself in a position to have a bad trip.
Yeah,
and that is literally what you're doing.
Go out of your way to make sure you're gonna just have the best time ever. Like, you're like, okay, we got some movies, we got some nice music. Like, you go out of your way, and then these people are like, oh, fuck it, let's go back to camp. Spook, and then like they're like, tell a scary story. This guy tells like the scariest story ever. And they're like, oh, Jesus Christ, man, why'd you do that? And they all get upset. It's the weirdest thing. But this guy that tells the story, they're like, oh, tell us about banshees and leprechauns. The guy's like, oh, those are all fucking bullshit. That's all bullshit. Here's a real scary story. And he tells a story about these things called the Black Brothers, which was a weird Christian organization that basically lived in this castle up the hill and tortured children. And then there was there was like these twin boys that were there, and they threw rocks. And they got in trouble for throwing rocks, so they hung one of the twins, made the other one watch, and they called him the Lonely Twin, which this is pretty cruel. That twin got pissed, picks up those death head mushrooms that the girl just ate, and puts it into everyone's tea.
Yeah.
And fucks them all up and kills most of them. And said 78 people got massacred there, and there were only one survivor. The feral kid that lived with the dogs. And they never found the Black Brothers or the Lonely Twin again. So here's where, again, I was like, what? Why would they tell us that right now? Because I know now that those those were the feral kids, right? Or were they now? Fuck. All right, we have to get to the end and then dissect it. Because now I'm curious. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, the two hillbillies.
Yeah, they made it seem like they were the feral kids.
Yeah.
And I bought into it, but then the end happens. And then you're like, wait.
I just think it's a tale.
It's just a tale.
Yeah.
And then they were fucked up. Okay.
I'm sure someone will correct us. But
Yeah. So everyone gets pissed. Why did you want to hear a scary story, fucking assholes? I'm so mad at everything at this point. Troy, everyone goes back to their tents. They're calling it a night. Stoners trying to...
Hold on. Why is there an urban legend story involving mushrooms? Like it's so stupid.
That is very...
why is everything about mushrooms?
That is very...
It's not how life works.
And also, again, last story I want to hear, 78 people dying from eating mushrooms.
While eating mushrooms.
That's not how life works. I've got the perfect story for us. It involves everything we're doing and where we are.
I mean, that makes no sense.
And two people you just saw on the road.
Like imagine you're like, yeah.
Two spooky guys that we already saw.
Let's go smoke some pot and then tell scary stories about pot. Like people don't do that.
Oh, God. So everyone breaks apart. Obviously, everyone's just trying to have sex. The stoner.
The real reason people are there.
Yeah.
Obviously.
But again, you can travel to... No.
College kids.
I guess. Just pop a tent in the fucking backyard. So the stoner, he's trying to get some, and he sees somebody outside, which he immediately is like, that fucking Bluto. But dude, this stoner has like the biggest balls of all time.
Does he though? Because he confronts Bluto after he sees the shadow, Bluto punches him in the face, and he starts screaming, "You don't punch someone in the face."
Yeah, we know some people like that too.
Wait.
What?
Give me a hint.
Oh, no, just people that complain about fighting techniques.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Fucking.
You can find us, like Bluto says.
Yeah.
Come find us.
Fuck you.
They go into a fight. Bluto just straight up fucking smashes his fucking nose into a million pieces, and I was pretty happy about that, because if somebody woke me up accusing me of spying on him in a tent, I'd probably try to break his nose also. I'd be like, just get the fuck out of here.
Then Bluto goes back into his tent. He tries to get laid.
His girlfriend is the meanest girl in the world.
She's pretty mean.
Dude,
because she starts a fight with the other girl.
Well, so also, spoiler alert, I don't know if I think we kind of got a hint of this earlier. The stoner is sleeping with Bluto's girlfriend. Right? Yeah, it's not the opposite way. Yeah.
Of course not. Bluto's not getting too...
Yeah, so the stoner is sleeping with Bluto's girlfriend. So I think that's why she's like a little more upset. But dude, like, she might as well just break it off with him, because he comes in, and instead of being like, yeah, man, I knew you were here the whole time, she's like, was it you? And he's like, no. And then she's like, she just starts shitting on him about steroids. She's like, go stick another needle in your ass. Like, what? Why are you even dating?
His response is, you fart in your sleep, dude.
And then they make a fart noise.
A noise.
Yeah. That almost brought me back in. I was like, you know what? If you're gonna go the Shrooms route, just own it, man. Be silly. He was like, and he was like, she was like, ah.
That's how that movie should. You're right. The whole movie should be like that.
Yeah.
The thing is, this is a movie about shrooms. You don't need to have like affairs happening. You don't need to have backstory. Like
exactly. You're
putting too
just
much
get
into
to the
this.
killing.
Yeah.
And frankly, there wasn't even enough of that, because
no, there's not.
Well, we'll start here, because this is the first kill, first death we're about to approach right here. So Bluto's kicked out of his tent, and he's like, I'm just going to chug all the tea, which again, like, no one has any manners here, because like they made this tea for everybody to get high, and Bluto walks out and is just like, go, and just drinks the whole thing. Like,
forget about manners. That's fucking insane.
Well, it's also insane. So of course he's high, super high. He walks out, he sees a girl, and he starts chasing her, and he's like, ooh, like, I'm going to grab you. She then turns into a cow in the woods who's talking to him. And this might be...
his quote is, a fucking cow that can fucking talk?
And this might be the best scene in the movie. Because the cow is saying, like, ridiculous. They are having the most normal conversation. It is so funny. The cow's like, you know you're fucked. Like, dead fucked. Which I was like, oh, that's good. Nice clear up. And then Bluto just goes, I gotta go. And the cow goes, yeah, bye-bye. It's the best dialogue I've ever heard in a fucking movie, like, of all time. It made me, I was laughing so hard at that. He sees the girl in the car, so he runs up to the car. The window opens a crack, dude. This actually kind of spooked me out a little bit. This was good. Until he pulls out his dick and sticks it into the crack in the window.
Why is he doing that? Oh, because he wants to get sucked off, but it's stupid.
Dude, it was legitimately like a pretty spooky fucking scene. It was creepy as fuck.
I'm actually agree with that.
It was creepy as shit. And then he's just like, and he like pulls down his fucking pants and just sticks his dick into this window. And he's just like, oh yeah, it's so soft. Dude. We already have our one coffee table book. My other one will be ridiculous things to tell the audience, ridiculous cues, ridiculous dialogue to tell the audience, yes, I'm having sex or getting a blowjob. And because there's so many movies that do this, so this one's not alone, but I can't stand a movie that does this. And he just goes, oh, it's so soft and wet. Why would you fuck it? You never said that. And we've talked about this about another movie. I can't remember which one before. But, dude, this is a common theme in horror movies. Like, when you can't show sex, but you need to tell the audience that that's what's happening.
But, I mean, you should be able to know.
Everyone knows.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
All he has to do is be like, oh, yeah. I mean, that's all he can do and close his eyes.
Exactly. There's that music video D'Angelo did where he's getting sucked off the entire time, and everybody knows it, and he doesn't have to make any of those noises.
No. And he doesn't have to go, oh, it's so soft and wet. It's so soft and wet. It's the stupidest shit. Can you imagine if you said that in front of a woman while you're she'd be like, all right, get the fuck out. I'm done.
Yeah, talking about
I'm wrapped up.
Mouth.
My mouth. That's my fucking mouth. Bluto, thanks.
Whatever.
So he like gets like pushed back or falls. He hasn't lost his dick yet, but as you can imagine, it's coming. But no one's there. And he's like looking around.
Nice that we have a movie that gets the genital mutilation right out of the way for us.
Right out of the way. It is good.
We've already hit our quota.
We've hit our quota. This creepy looking dude just pops up, pretty fucking scary, and just bites off this guy's dick or rips it off. I don't know.
I think he bites it.
I think he bites it too. That's tough. And he chases him. The guy loses his dick. He falls back again. And he's crawling away, screaming, and this guy just puts a fucking axe through his head.
Yeah.
So now this is the first death. We'll find it that did he die from
genital mutilation?
Genital mutilation and the axe? Because some of these deaths, I couldn't tell if they actually died from what we saw or if they were just dying because of like mushroom-induced paranoia. Like, I don't know.
When we get to the end, I have a theory on it.
At the end, it's explained. Like, that, I don't know, man. It's honestly, I think that's where this movie loses you. It's way too complicated.
All right. Because we're on Bluto's death.
Yeah.
Can we jump to the end and come back to it for a second?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. So it's revealed that when Tara
there's all these deaths. Everyone fucking dies, basically.
Yes.
And we'll hit some of the other ones later, but everyone dies.
Except for Tara.
She's rescued. She's the final girl. And then it turns out through a series of like flashbacks through her vision.
All right, everyone. Not only do we spoil the end of this movie right here, so in case you want to see it, you might want to stop. But we also, I also spoil the end of one of my favorite movies, High Tension. So if you haven't seen that, just skip forward like 20 seconds or something. I don't know. I made that number up. Anyway, yeah. So fair warning, spoiler alert.
Yes.
That she's
the one doing it.
She's doing it. It's a high tension.
It's high tension, but it's because she ate those mushrooms. So she was having a bad trip. Lost her mind.
Is that you think that is what it is?
Yes.
I think she's
No, it's because she had the death caps.
Because she steals. Oh, I see.
She had a bad. She's just having a bad.
See, I took it as she was because she took the phones. Had she eaten the caps at that point?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh, wow. See, if they made that a little more clear, it would have been. And then, see, here's the other thing. I don't like that ending because they make you wait the whole fucking movie, and you're kind of invested in these, like, whatever they're called, not Death Eaters, but Black Brothers. Because you see them, like, as the movie goes on, you start seeing the Black Brothers in the woods. They wear, like, these big capes and shit and hoods. And they're terrifying. They're pretty terrifying.
But that's her hallucinating them because she heard the story of them.
Right. No, I'm fine with that. But like you're invested as a viewer
and then it
into that theory.
Yeah,
and then in the end, it's just like, because like honestly, if it was her doing that, I would have liked to see that. I would have liked maybe after the second death, make that reveal so we could see her acting as the killer. Because those things at the end, I was like, well, it's not that bad.
That's why I wanted to jump to the end and go back to Bluto's death because it's revealed that he's actually talking to a cow, but she's hiding behind a tree and whispering, like voicing the cow.
Yes, which is, I don't know, man.
The cow had a man's voice.
Yeah, it did. So there's parts of this that just are, I don't know. I think that's where it lost me. I think I just was like, well, what the fuck was all of this for then? Because if it was her killing people, that was like my biggest gripe was like, I didn't see many deaths. Like you see up until the point of them dying and then that's it. And then they find the body.
Yeah.
And you're like, well, did they actually die in that moment? Or was it like shrooms that killed them? Or like, what was it?
Well, that's what I kind of liked about it. Like on the opposite of you is that I liked that you don't know if it's the monks. You don't know if it's like just the drugs and they're all losing their mind. And then at the end, it was her. I thought it was kind of cool.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I like that idea when you're saying it, but I didn't like it in the movie. Like, I think they just needed to amplify everything. I feel like they were at like a 7 and they just needed to jack it up and make it like a little bit more crazy
sure
and like, what the fuck? Like, because they really, like, you were never like.
There's a good movie in here somewhere.
There's a good movie hidden in there. I think they need it. And I mean, I'm probably not the person to tell them. Obviously, I like the Greasy Strangler. So like, I would amp it up to like that number and be like, no, that is a trip. That is a fucking trip. And, you know, but it's a weird situation. Like, I don't know. There's a good movie in there. There's a good movie in there. But so, yeah.
So that's the show, folks.
So that's the show. That's the fucking movie. That's like the most in-depth review we've done of a movie, like of our actual feelings. Usually it's like, I liked it. It was pretty cool. But Tara, so now that they know that, it'll be interesting to, and also for us, because I didn't really think about the movie after I got the reveal. So we're gonna say some things about the rest of the movie, and we'll see if they actually line up. Because Tara wakes up and she goes looking for Bluto, who she had just murdered. So that's weird.
But she also she had a premonition that he died, which makes sense that she's the killer because she's hallucinating.
She's just hallucinating.
She's thinking
she's not
dreaming
having
it.
Premonition.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Oh wait, we actually skipped that part because she. So when Bluto's talking to the cow, wait, this is what's fucked up. So Bluto gets his dick bit off and an axe to his head.
Mm-hmm.
After that, Tara wakes up because she has a vision of Bluto dying. Yep. Goes out and finds him talking to the cow, and then brings him back to bed, and puts Bluto in his sleeping bag.
Yes.
And then the next morning, he's MIA.
Yes, because I think she's just...
So she's... Is this trips on trips on trips?
Yeah, like Trip-ception. She's like... She killed him, but then she's also thinking that she woke up and saved him.
Yeah.
Like,
and Bluto's girlfriend wakes up with her fucking haircut?
Yes.
Which they don't explain that. She just wakes up and her hair's everywhere.
She thinks it's the other girl.
Yeah. Yeah. It's so weird. It's so weird. I've never met a group so accusatory. Like, I don't know. It's weird. I'd just be like, hey, which one of you assholes was so high that you cut my hair in the middle of the night? And what did you do with it? Back at the camp, they find Bluto's clothes. The phones are missing. And they just assume Bluto took them, which is terrible reasoning skills. Because if Bluto took off all of his clothes and the phone, you still have problems. Regardless of if that, like, they're like, don't worry, Bluto's got him. Yeah, well, Bluto left all of his clothes by the lake. So I'd rather him not have my cell phone.
Yeah.
I'd rather have it. And Tara just starts hallucinating randomly and starts seeing dudes in robes. So yeah, I think you're right. That death cap is the culprit here.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. Okay. 45 minutes in, and this is incredibly boring at this point. Like, this is now just arguing and wandering around the
squabbling
woods.
And getting separated. And
Yeah. I wonder if you're on shrooms, what this is like.
What, watching this?
Yeah. Because, like, so I figured this is a good time as any to air out my shroom stories. So when I took them,
yeah,
I've taken them twice, maybe 3 times. We watched movies all times. One was Fist of the North Star.
Okay.
And we watched it because Vader was in it. It was terrible. I did not enjoy it. Then we watched Fear and Loathing, which was like just I don't know what the movie's about still, but because I was just looking at stuff in the movie and being like, is that really in the movie or in my brain? And then the third though was Speed Racer. And this is where I'm curious what this movie would be like, because Speed Racer was the greatest fucking movie I've ever seen. And I think it was because of this. Dude, it felt like it was
very colorful.
It's insane. But not even that. I was so invested in that movie. When it ended, I couldn't believe it wasn't real life. Like, my life was Speed Racer. Like, I was like, I thought like those were real sporting events that I was watching and like real people. Like I was like, he's got to win this race. Like John Goodman, come on. Like I was just like, what the fuck is happening? And I would just imagine like if you were watching this, maybe the boring would actually be fucking terrifying as hell.
Nah.
No. You're probably right because they just whine.
They're just wandering.
And they're wandering and like being like, "Moo."
You'd probably just be like, my hands feel weird. How long have I been watching this?
Yeah, I mean, that's the other thing. It felt like days like I was watching those movies and they're an hour and a half, you know? So I was just curious about that, but I don't think it's very good. It doesn't strike me as anything. That's why I wish there were more visuals and stuff in it. I don't know. So of course, all the girls are fighting as part of this 45 minutes of pain. And they roll into a pit. They see a hand. They see a hand covered in dirt, and they're like, this girl's like, meh, and just yanks on the hand.
Disgusting.
Yanks on the hand while she's flat on her back under it. Like, there's only one thing that's going to happen.
It'll fall on you.
It's going to fall on you. Whatever it is going to fall on you. And it's dead Bluto right in her face. And he starts talking to him, right?
Yes.
And she's like, it's a trap. It's a trap.
Admiral Akbar.
Yeah, it's so weird. Tara hears something up in the woods though, and she's like, she makes the two girls stay behind while she goes to investigate, which does make sense for the later part of the story. But it made no sense at the time. I was like, dude, you're out of your mind high, and you're like, I'm gonna go walk through this. I just heard something. I'm gonna go walk through the woods.
Yeah, no, it makes sense. Now.
Which still would be like, I mean, it's not like she was like, that would still scare you, even if you were turning into a murderer. Now they all start seeing these robed things. It's kind of weird because it's like a shared trip. And I think they mentioned that. I think they mentioned that earlier. Like two of them were like, oh, we saw the same thing. Yes. And the guy's like, that's stupid.
Impossible.
That's impossible. But let me tell you about all the other magical things. Which, like the whole time he's like, mushrooms make you see the future. And then anytime something comes up.
Thing.
Anytime something comes up like that, he's like, that's fucking idiotic. Shut your mouth. You're an idiot. He gets so annoyed with them. He's like, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Now let me tell you about the time you could find treasure.
He's the anti-mango expert.
Dude, he is. Tells you everything and then takes it all back.
Insults you for it.
Indian giver mango expert. So wait, where was I? So they all start seeing these robed things. Tara starts running because these robed things are like chasing her in the woods now. She gets hit by the smallest fucking twig.
Yes.
It is like thinner than your pinky finger and like maybe like 6 inches long. And it hits her in the face and she flies like somebody just hit her in the face with like a snow shovel.
Insane.
It was craziest thing. And we're back with watching one of these other girls walking around scared. I guess they've separated themselves.
Bert and Ernie appear.
Bert and Ernie appear. And I'm in such a bad mood at this point because any momentum they had is being shot like right in the face right now.
Good point, because that is probably the biggest issue.
Yeah.
There's no momentum. It all gets killed. Like once you start to build up, it just goes away.
You build up with this jock dying, and then they're just like, they just take this movie out to pasture and fucking kill it.
Yeah.
And the momentum just dies, and it's just bizarre. So she finds this hut where we meet Ernie and Bernie, these two weirdos, and now they're talking. They're just talking, and they're like, "Hey, come on in." And she's like, "Okay." Oh, and then she's like, "Hey, do you have a phone?" And they're like, "Yeah, over there."
There's no way they have.
So yeah. So she picks up the phone. She's like, "Yeah, the phone doesn't work." And they're like, "You asked if we had a phone, not service." So they just
jokesters.
Have an unfunctioning phone. They are jokesters. And one of them's a jokester, and the other one's like, "I want to lick your ass." And he's like, "Oh, this guy, what? Get a load of this guy."
Wait, is that actually what he says?
No.
Dude, I was like, I can't believe I missed that.
He makes like sexual advances towards her. Like he's like, "Ugh." And he's like, "Oh, don't mind this guy. He's just joking around."
Right.
He's like,
I remember that.
"I want to feel her up." Like,
dude, want to lick your ass. Imagine you said that.
But then the other brother's like, oh, this guy says the funniest shit. Can you believe this guy? And the girl's like, if you were on shrooms, you would just be, you would honestly strangle yourself with the phone cord. Like, you would do anything to get out of that situation. Like, I mean, granted, you probably wouldn't have gone in anyway. You would have just screamed and ran away. But holy shit. Yeah. And this scene is like, again, a total killer of momentum because nothing really happens. They're talking about fucking animals. They tell her the same story about the Black brothers.
Yep.
That we've already heard. She goes to the bathroom, and then meanwhile, something happens, and we don't know because she's like looking through a keyhole, and we don't see shit. Like we hear a lot of banging around, and I think what we were supposed to see was a Black brother beating up those guys. Yeah. But then that's not even the case because she leaves, and then they're chasing her. The guys are chasing her, and the black robe is gone. The whatever. The imagery in this is like pretty good, and I think some of the jump scares are pretty solid. Mm-hmm. Some of the imagery of like these Black brothers I like it, but it's just like it's totally bogged down with slow ass storytelling and a very not very clear story is what I'll say. Tara wakes up from being hit by that twig though. She's been out unconscious for like 6 hours at this point. And she wakes up, so she's up. Tony and the Irish guy forgot they were even in the fucking movie at this point. Or Troy, yeah, Troy. Sorry, why did I write Tony? Hey, Tony. Troy and the Irish guy, they're just taking like the slowest, happiest walk of all time. They cut to them. I forgot they were even in it, and they're just like, "So how you doing, man?"
And then they're like, "Yes." And they're like, why don't we go to the dead people's house so we can summon help?
Yeah, yes. That's what they, dude, that was what, dude, it's like an old abandoned castle.
It's literally all it is.
Like, that's like you told us the story.
Castle Craig.
Yeah, I'm going to go up to that castle and look for a phone. People actually know about the castles around here because we talked about them on an episode. So this is a good callback. Yeah, like it's like going up to one of those castles with nothing.
There's a mountain by our houses that it takes you like 45 minutes to walk up.
Yeah.
When you get up, there's a big shitty castle.
There's nothing there though.
Nothing.
Just
you can see like
fake castle.
Like when you climb up. I mean, it's a castle.
It's a castle.
But when you climb up top, you can see like the neighboring towns.
Yeah.
So high. That's exactly what this is. And it'd be like you walked all the way up there for help. You could have walked so many other places.
You could have walked anywhere else. And same with these guys. Like they could have literally walked anywhere else. But they don't. They go up to the castle. I was actually wondering why they were in the castle, and I did not realize that they were like, yeah, there's got to be a phone in there. But hey, what can you do? They hear someone yelling, oh, this, like, again, this movie, it fucking sucks because there's good moments in it because they go into this, like, castle and they hear the creepiest fucking voice being like, boys. Dude, it's fucking creepy. Troy. And there's girls, baghead girls.
Yeah.
In there.
Yep.
So is that Tara?
Yes.
Like, wow, I wish they played that up more. Like, I would have loved, that was the scariest shit I ever saw in the movie. I was like, who the fuck is this? A girl in a baghead? Like, I love bagheads. Bagheads rock, man.
There's a movie called Baghead.
Well, is it horror?
Wait a second. It's the guy who did, the guy from The League who did,
Creep?
Yes.
Oh, really?
Yes. I saw it years ago.
I might have to check that out.
It's not very good.
Oh, never mind. Well, that is in our wheelhouse. So, Holly or one of these other girls, she's being pursued by those two guys still. And now they're being eaten by something in the woods.
Yeah.
The guys are chasing her, and then all of a sudden something's eating them. Don't know what. And then she finds a weird feral kid hiding in the base of a tree. And again, none of this matters because we don't know what's a fucking dream and what's not. But they find Holly's body. The other girl asks who's next because Tara's like, I saw this happen. I saw that she was going to be the one to die. So the other girl's like, who's next? And Tara's like, me. So the girls split up. Why? I don't know. The other girl just runs away because I think she thinks she's got like a fighting chance at this point, but she doesn't. Everyone is basically now all holed up in the house. I think Tara's even in there now. Wait, how is Tara? Okay, well, whatever. They're holed up in the house. We got bagheads calling their name, which is like legit terrifying. Weird little dead kids are coming after them now. It's a fucking shit show.
This is just a trip now.
Yeah, now it's just insanity. Like rocks are being thrown at them. It's fucking crazy. One of the girls dies. I don't even remember how. Do you have her death?
I don't. I remember Jake jumping out of the window, breaking his leg.
Oh my God. Yeah, and Troy gets got by Baghead too. I think he takes an axe.
Yes.
The Irish guy jumps out of a fucking window. And it is weird because like they're trying to escape, but the Irish guy has a vision and then collapses.
Yeah.
Like, so he's dying of mushrooms. See, my curiosity is, did she give everyone the blackhead mushroom in the tea or something? Like,
no.
Remember how that's how they poisoned everyone in the...
Yeah.
And then then he massacred them.
No, she just lost her mind on a bad trip.
Oh, okay. Well, that would have been better. But yeah, it's a weird mix of like visions and are they dying in real life or are they dying in the trip? Like that's the weird thing. It's like a Freddy Krueger scenario where you're like the later Freddy Krueger movies, like you're like, did you die because of the trip death? Or did you die? Because that guy just collapses.
Well, because he broke his leg. He collapsed.
He just die?
Well, I thought he just collapsed to like in pain and then she killed him.
Oh, maybe. Okay. Well, see, again, they need to... Okay. Because that's what sucks. Because, like, the whole movie, you're like, this might be a bad movie because it's not very well explained. And then at the end, they're just like, oh, by the way, here's the explanation for everything. Am I wrong? I don't know.
I didn't mind it, that part.
Right, maybe I need to rewatch it. Tara also, I think, passes out at that point, too. Right?
Yeah, because she awakens right after that.
Yeah, she awakens and there's a helicopter above her. She's on a gurney. Police are collecting evidence. We're watching them collect everything from the cars. And they're arresting those weird feral people who were not being eaten by anything.
That was just part of the trip. Yeah.
And she's just screaming, it's not him. He's not the one. Or maybe she's not even yelling. She's just whispering it. She's just going, yeah, that's right. It's not him. He's not the one. So no one can be like, oh, really? Well, who is it? So we can get the right person. She gets into the ambulance.
Yep.
We hear a phone
rings.
But I don't think it's her phone. She picks it up and it's not her phone. And that's what triggers
she has all the flashbacks, like, oh, shit.
She's like, she has the flashbacks of her stealing the phones at first, which is what triggers it. And we see all the murders.
Yep.
Really fast, though. Like, literally seconds. Like, it's not, you don't even get to linger in like oh, my God. It's just like, bloop, 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 bloop. And it's just like, okay, miss, we're going to take you to the hospital. And then we get a shot from the back of the ambulance. She's like, please, can you help me? He bends over. And then as the ambulance is driving away, we see fucking him get fucking killed and her just slam up against the back window, covered in blood.
And then the film ends with her running through the woods.
Yeah. So what happened?
Just still tripping balls.
I just hate not knowing. So is she in the woods or is she good?
No, she's in the woods.
So that whole thing was... The ambulance and shit was fake?
No. She killed the paramedic.
But then why is she in the woods after?
Because she ran away from the ambulance.
This is suspect at best.
Why?
This is suspect.
That's exactly what happened.
I'm not into that. Well, whatever.
She killed someone, she exited, and then she ran away.
This movie was a piece of shit. So one message. So that's the end of that movie, by the way. Last week on the Solo Sean show, I took some viewer questions. Actually, one of our bonus Patreon bonuses will be Joe answering the same questions.
Oh, cool.
But one of the questions I missed, and I just want to drop it right now because it's been bothering me. Friend Riley from Texas, he said, he asked, us to just talk about Danzig era Misfits. And I was wondering if you had anything to say on that.
What a segue this was.
Ham-fisted segues are my specialty.
He just wants us to talk about Danzig era
Yeah,
Misfits?
he just said talk about Danzig era Misfits.
I mean, they're fucking awesome.
They're the best, right?
I do really like Sam Hine.
Which I've never really listened to.
Who corrected us how to say it?
Oh, a lot of people.
Well, how do you say it?
Shawin.
Shawin?
Shawin? No, it's Shawin, I think.
Shawin?
Sawin, I think.
Sawin. So Sam Hine's really good. But
it's stupid to call it Sawin. No one would know it. Well, I guess people that know the word.
But yeah, Danzig era Misfits is one of the greatest punk bands of all time, especially the time that they came out. The whole look, the attitude, the music.
I mean, and that's one of the things that I think people forget about is how early those dudes were doing that shit. Like,
yeah.
Like, there's that band called Death that was in the 70s making like proto-punk music, which is like mind-blowing. When you listen to their shit, you're like, how the fuck were they making that? Like, uninfluenced proto-punk. It was amazing. And I feel like Danzig is a little bit of the same. They started in the late 70s.
77.
Right? That's insane.
Which punk was like, I don't know, I think the Sex Pistols was 77 too. So like all came, it's really weird because like there's no punk before that.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden
explodes.
And there's like four of them.
And all those bands are good. Like they're still some of the best punk bands.
Exactly.
It's weird how that happens. Like I'm not a big black metal guy, but like that initial burst of like Mayhem and Immortal and all of them,
all came out at the same time.
All at the same time. They're all the best.
And with like, I don't want to say no influences because their influences are different styles meshed together.
Sure, they had Venom and they had Bathory.
Right. But like
those guys.
But all of those bands had to be like at the same time.
The same time.
It's be like, oh, I want to combine these things.
That music always blows my mind like that. Like, like before rock and roll, there's like, you know, blues and like country.
R&B.
And then at the same time, you have Jimmy Page and Hendrix and all these guys just shredding at guitar. Like, how you get that fucking good all at the same time?
It's so fucking weird. And you're all doing kind of the same shit, but like you had no contact with each other.
No contact. And then you have Clapton and like Hendrix. But I don't know why. But like back to the Misfits, like there was no precedent for that.
No.
You know, there's the Beatles, there was the Doors, there was Sabbath.
So nuts.
And you go to that.
And then all of a sudden Danzig's like, I ain't no goddamn son of a bitch. You come and listen to me, baby.
It's insane.
Like, what? What are you doing?
And Danzig was clearly a huge Elvis fan.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Which, like, how do you go from just listening to Elvis to being like, yeah, I'm going to make my hair look like this and sing about monsters?
I'm gonna make devil locks in my hair, which just fake things that we're going to do. And people are going to love. Like, what?
It's amazing. I love talking about it because it's like just fascinating.
It is insane. It's very, very fascinating. The Misfits are one of those ones, owned a band called Death, where it's just like, dude, like, how did you do that? Like, you were listening to such other weird shit, and you're just like, you know what we're going to do? We're just going to do this. And it works. Like, man, it's just crazy. It's crazy. That band called Death, have you ever seen that documentary?
Yeah, it was great.
It's amazing. That story is just amazing. And how that brother held on to all the tapes until he died and was like, by the way, here. And he's like, and don't give them away because one day people are going to look for them.
Yeah.
Like, that is fucking wild.
It is.
That is fucking wild. But I mean, I guess once you start hearing everyone rip you off, you're like, dude, somebody's going to find us. So that's that. There's your answer to the question. That's us talking about the subject of Danzig and the Misfits. But I love Danzig and the Misfits.
Yeah, man.
I
Do you have a favorite album?
I honestly don't even know the album names.
Walk Among Us, Static Age.
Static Age is my favorite because that's got Hybrid Moments, right? It's on Static Age?
Yes.
I think so. I love Hybrid Moments so much. If you want to hang with me. Dude, it's so fucking, all the songs are ridiculous. They're all like, because they're all like these amazing songs with, and Danzig's voice he's got the voice of an angel. And you just listen to him and you're like, you listen to him to a song and you're like, this is actually like a really nice sounding song. And then you start listening to the lyrics. And there's always a lyric that's like, and I killed your baby today. And you're like, wait, what? Like, what? Dead cats hanging from poles.
You know what else is underappreciated about the Misfits is that all their songs are like a minute and a half.
Totally underappreciated.
Doesn't drag on.
Nope.
They put like 20 songs on the album.
No guitar solos.
Right to the punch. Yeah. Just riffs.
Dude, just banging them out.
Yeah.
I would have killed to go down to New Jersey and see them like in their like that's like a time machine moment for me. Like
sure.
I would love to just go see that.
I mean, like like we said, there's no precedent for that. So can you imagine like going into a local pub and being like, oh, check out the local band tonight, and there's just like a smoke machine and guys with devil locks, and they're like,
Dude,
what the fuck is happening,
dude? And if I remember correctly, I don't know if it's them or another band, but I'm pretty sure like Danzig would climb up into like the rafters and just hang from the poles, like because he was so fucking jacked, like he could like chimpanzee it and like hang with one hand and like sing with the mic, and it's just like that must have been like you watch these like the bad not documentaries, the bad bio flicks on like bands, and it's always like they go and perform and the manager of the club's like, get the fuck out of here, I don't want you singing your rock and roll here tonight. But that had to have happened to Danzig.
For sure.
Dude, they had to have gotten kicked out of so many fucking places. Like,
well, like one of the like the Godfathers was Iggy Pop and the Stooges.
See, like there's their influence, right?
There is a good story of the first, because they were in the 60s.
Yeah.
10 years before Danzig. Even crazier. And they were hated, like fucking hated. And they played in this biker bar, and like everybody wanted to kill them. So Iggy Pop, they played it was like, I forget what it was. It was like 65 or a 70-minute long version of Louie Louie. Just continued to play it while the entire place is getting more and more mad.
Which is so funny, because if I had to sing Louie Louie and like come to an ending, I don't think I could. I think I would just be like, and just loop again.
Dude, that's so genius.
Like, I don't think there is an end to that song. That's so funny. That is so fucking funny.
Should have saved this for a bonus up.
We should have, but oh well. We could cut it out.
Nah. Well, it's up to you.
Because that was honestly like 5 minutes. So guys, but we could do a bonus up on that deeper. We could go deeper into that.
Yeah.
So that's that episode. Thanks, Riley, for that question. Sorry.
Can we just talk about that instead of talk about clown for the next episode?
No.
Damn it.
All right, guys. That's it for this episode. Good episode. Thank you all so much for supporting us. Thank you guys for who came out to the Patreon Google Hangout. Thanks to all of our Patreon subscribers, man. You guys mean a lot. We got some big stuff in the works for this summer. I'm really fucking excited. Yep. I want to talk about it, but I don't want to jinx us.
No, we can give subliminal hints, though.
Yeah.
Like
subliminal verses.
Yeah.
If you will.
Nice. Picked up on it.
All right, guys. So that's it for this episode. Rate, review, subscribe on iTunes. That is the best way to help us. It really, really does help. And if you do, we've got some killer new stickers. One Jawbreaker inspired one, and one cartoon inspired one. It's us in cartoon form. Die cut sticker. It's beautiful. It's gorgeous. So check those out. Check out our social media if you haven't seen them. I've posted the pictures of them. So rate, review, subscribe, and if you do, whatever. Also, Patreon members, if you do want one of those stickers, just shoot me an email. Sean@IHateHorror.com, and I'll get those stickers out to you. That's a big enough plug for Patreon. So that's patreon.com/IHateHorror. We also have shirts at, I don't even know, shop.IHateHorror.com, store.IHateHorror.com. And we're working on some new stuff coming out, so hang tight. What else do we have to plug? I'm on Twitter at @IHateHorrorShow, Instagram at @IHateHorror, and Snapchat at @IHateHorror.
I'm at JoeV421, Boognish 1985, and Horror Show Joe.
There you go, man. That's it. Thanks, Harley Poe, for allowing us to use Gorehound, the album Pagan Holiday. Check that out. Check out his new album, too. Whew. I'm exhausted, man. That's it for Shrooms. It's in the books. Call to wrap. Thank you very much. What?
Adios.
What's his name? Thank you very much, Brian. And that completes the Brian.
The trilogy.
Byron trilogy.
The trilogy of terror.
Trilogy of turds. Classic. You guys are friends. Thank you. That's it, man. So for Joe, this is Sean. Stay weird.
Thank you.
Adios.